Hey friends, welcome to the Time for Living podcast, your ultimate guide to finding the time you need to crush your business dreams while still having time to live your one beautiful life. I'm your host, Lucy Clark, a devoted boy mum, dedicated business owner, and time-finding expert. Say goodbye to that I'm too busy mindset that's holding you back from growing your online business. No more feeling overwhelmed or stuck in the same place year after year. Each week, we'll dive deep into strategies for being intentional with your precious time so you can hit those business goals while still making time for yourself and your family. If you're ready to create more time, get practical tips and prioritize the steps that will make the biggest impact on your business and life, then you're in the right spot. Pop in your earbuds, steal a quiet moment, and let's find time together. Last week, I asked you to look at the 5 functions in your business: leads, follow-up, sales, onboarding, revenue awareness, and pick the one where running it on improvisation was costing you the most. Not the one to fix, the one to see clearly. And I said this week we'd talk about why your business can feel messy even when you're doing all the things right. Because there's a specific reason for that feeling. And the reason isn't that something is wrong with you. Here's the answer up front. Nothing is wrong with you. You have just outgrown the method that built the business. And once you can see that, the mess starts to make sense. Can I ask you something? Have you had a week recently where, on paper, you did everything right? You posted, you followed up, you checked in with the client, you did the work. And by Friday afternoon, sitting in the car outside waiting for pickup, you had this quiet, unsettled feeling that something was still off. Not broken, just messy. Like the harder you worked, the more friction there was, and you couldn't quite put a finger on why. That feeling is the entire subject of this episode. I want to be honest with you today. This is one of those moments where most of us assume we're the problem. Something must be slipping. We must be missing something. We need to get more organized, find a better tool, finally crack the system. And what I want you to do today is give you a different lens. Because it's almost never what you think it is. Let me describe the symptom directly, because I want you to know I see it. Things that used to work feel slower now. The post that used to write itself takes twice as long. The follow-up you used to fire off before bed feels like a project you have to brace for. The week looks organized, calendars color-coded, lists in Notions, reminders set, and somehow you feel less in control than you did a year ago, when you had half of the structure. Nothing is dramatic enough to fix. The numbers aren't collapsing. There's no fire, but there's also no flow. And that gap between no fire and no flow is honestly confusing. Because the easy story to tell yourself is that you've slipped, that you used to be sharper, that you used to have it all together and somewhere along the way you let it go. I see this all the time with the women I work with. And I've felt versions of it myself. That strange middle state where every individual thing is still happening, but the whole stops feeling cohesive. Where you keep waiting for it to click back into place and it just doesn't. I want to name something here gently. The fact that it doesn't click back into place isn't a failure. It's information. The thing that used to click was a specific arrangement of methods that fit a specific stage of the business. Both of those things are different now. So here is the lens I want to give you, the model. The thing I want you to be able to repeat back to yourself the next time the messy feeling shows up. Every business moves through stages, and every stage has a method that fits it. That's true whether anyone has ever told you about it or not. Your business is moving through stages, and what worked at one stage will quietly stop working at the next. The early stage of business rewards a very specific method. We call it white knuckling. Holding it all in your head, making it up as you go, pushing through, saying yes to almost everything because you're still learning what's worth saying yes to. Adapting in the moment, carrying every detail personally because there's nobody else and nothing else to carry it. That method isn't a flaw, it's exactly right for that stage. It's how every real business gets off the ground. The fact that you ran your business that way, and it worked, isn't something to apologize for. It's evidence that you can build. But here's what nobody tells you. White knuckling has an expiry date. It's a method designed for a stage where the volume is low enough that one person's brain can hold the whole thing. The minute the volume goes up, more clients, more inquiries, more content, more moving parts, that same method starts to crack. Not because you've got worse at it, but because the load it was designed to hold no longer matches the load that's actually there. The mess you're feeling is the gap between the method that built the business and the stage the business is now in. And a way of explaining it is a method and a stage mismatch. The stage changed quietly, the method didn't, and running an early stage method on a business that's moved along produces exactly what you're feeling. Friction, fog, things slipping for no obvious reason, the sense that you're working harder for less return. You're not mismanaging, you're using a method that's expired. I want to give you a kitchen analogy here because I think it lands faster than anything technical I could say. The way you cook for a Tuesday night family dinner is different from the way you cook Christmas lunch. Both are real cooking, both can be done well. But if you walk into Christmas Day and try to run it with Tuesday night methods, no plan, head down, taste and adjust as you go, you'll be exhausted by 11 a.m. and the timing will be off. Not because you can't cook, because the method you used on Tuesday was designed for a different scale of meal. Christmas needs a list, a timing sheet, a few things prepped the day before. The food is the same kind of food, the methods are different. The business you now have is Christmas. The method most of us are still running on is Tuesday night. That's the whole story. It's not a you problem, and there are some things this isn't about. So I want you to be careful here, because the moment we name the mismatch, the brain wants to find someone to blame, and almost always that someone is you. So I want to take a beat and rule some things out. Don't judge it, just notice it. Firstly, this is not a discipline problem. If discipline were the issue, you'd already be fine. You are one of the most disciplined people I know. You're running a business in school hours with limited time and a real life. Discipline is not what's missing. This is also not a rebuild your whole business from scratch problem. The business you have works. The offers work. The audience is real. None of that needs tearing down. This is not a hire your way out problem. Bringing a VA into a business that's still being held together by your memory just gives the chaos another seat. The hire isn't the issue either. And it isn't a longer hours problem. If white knuckling were the answer, you'd already feel resolved. You don't, because the method has run out of road. More of the method that's expired doesn't make the method work. It just makes you tired. And I'm not saying any of this to call you out. I'm saying it because the relief of this episode lives in stopping the search. As long as you're still scanning for what you're doing wrong, you can't see what's actually happening. And what's actually happening isn't a problem. It's a transition. So you need a different method for a different stage of your business. So what does this stage actually need? Here's what I want you to hear. The mess is a sign of progression, not regression. It's the friction that shows up when a business has outgrown the way it was being run. That friction means the business is growing. It doesn't mean it's broken. This phase of work, the phase you're in if any of this is landing, is the infrastructure phase. And the simplest way I can describe it is this. This phase is where the business stops being something you can carry and starts being something that holds itself. Capacity in the early stage is about how much you can carry. You measure it by hours, willpower, grit, focus. That measure is fine when the volume is small. It stops working when the volume gets real. At a certain point, and most moms solo entrepreneurs hit it somewhere between the 3 and 10K range, capacity stops being about how much you can carry and starts being about what carries the work for you. That's the shift. That is the whole game in this phase. What changes the experience of running a business is not finding more hours in your day. It's moving the load from your head to a structure outside your head. Not all at once, not perfectly, but enough that the daily operating cost, the mental cost, starts coming down. Enough that the work stops resetting every Monday morning. You don't need to get better at carrying it. You need a different method, one that fits what the business is actually asking for now. Defined edges, repeatable shapes, the decision made once, written down and trusted to keep running while you do something else with your week. I'm not asking you to build any of that today. I just want you to see it, because the relief of realizing you're in this stage starts the minute you stop trying to apply the beginning business methods to a different phase problem. Stage-aware businesses don't grow by trying harder. They grow by changing what holds the load. So here's your one thing this week. Name the stage you're actually in, not the stage you wish you were at. Not the stage you feel like you should be in because you remember when everything was easier. The stage you're in right now, based on the volume the business is actually carrying. You can do this in the Notes app on your phone in 2 sentences, something like, I am in phase 3. The methods that built this business are not the method that this business needs now. Or in your own words, the exact wording matters less than the act of naming it. That's it. You're not building anything. You're not deciding what to change. You're doing one quiet, decision-reducing act of recognition. Because you can't upgrade a method you've not yet admitted has expired. Nothing is wrong. You've just outgrown white-knuckling. What I want you to feel as this episode closes is that the messy feeling isn't a sign you've lost your edge. It's a sign that the business you've built is asking for a different kind of method now, the kind that holds itself so that you don't have to. And what that gives you back isn't just smoother weeks at the desk. It's the Saturday morning that feels actually free. The school pickup you arrive at present. The evening after the kids are in bed where you don't lie awake mentally running through tomorrow's to-do list. That's what this phase is meant to protect. And that is the real point of any of this. Your life is the point. The system is the way you stop paying for it with your nervous system. So next week, we're going to look at what sustainable growth actually looks like for a mom entrepreneur. Because once you've named the stage, the next question is, what does growing from here without burning out actually look like? It's a design choice, not a personality trait. And I want to show you what that means in practice. Thanks for being here. I'll see you next week. Hey friends, thank you so much for tuning in to the Time for Living podcast today. If this episode inspired you to take action and save time, I'd be so grateful if you could leave a written review and subscribe over on Apple Podcasts. Your feedback means the world to me and helps us reach even more amazing people like you. If you know a friend who needs to hear this message, share this episode with them. And remember, your time is precious, so make every moment count. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep living, and keep making time for what matters most.